One phone call. That's all it takes. One call and you're done. Those words echo through Providence Municipal Court on a cold Tuesday morning. The woman who speaks them is 26 years old. Her name is Victoria Huntington. She stands in front of Judge Frank Caprio wearing a cream-colored Chanel blazer that costs $8,000. Her Christian Louboutin heels click on the courtroom floor. Each step sounds like a warning. A Cartier bracelet catches the light on her wrist. Her hair is perfectly styled. Her makeup is flawless. She looks like she just stepped out of a magazine. But her face tells a different story. Her lips curl into a smirk. Her eyes are cold. She looks at Judge Caprio like he's beneath her. Like he's nothing. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. This story starts 3 weeks earlier. February 14th, Valentine's Day. A Tuesday evening at 6:47 p.m. The location is Broadway Street in downtown Providence. It's a busy area. Restaurants line both sides of the street. People walk on the sidewalks. Couples hold hands. Families head to dinner. One of those people is Elena Rodriguez. She's 52 years old. She works as a hospice nurse at Rhode Island Hospital. For 28 years, she's taken care of dying patients. She holds their hands. She talks to them. She makes their last days comfortable. Elena has 2 daughters in college. She works 60 hours a week to pay their tuition. She drives a 2008 Honda Civic with 190,000 miles on it. The passenger door doesn't open from the outside. The check engine light has been on for 2 years. But it runs. It gets her to work. That's all she needs. On this Tuesday evening, Elena parks on Broadway Street. She's meeting her daughters for dinner. It's a rare night off. She feeds the parking meter. 2 hours. $4. She pays with quarters from her cup holder. Every quarter matters when you're counting pennies. Elena crosses the street at the crosswalk. The light is green for pedestrians. She walks carefully. Her left knee hurts. An old injury from lifting patients. She's almost across when she hears it. The roar of an engine. Tires squealing. A silver Maserati Quattroporte comes flying down Broadway Street. The speedometer reads 68 miles per hour. The posted limit is 25. The car weaves between lanes. Music blasts from the speakers. Behind the wheel sits Victoria Huntington. Her phone is in her hand. She's recording herself. A selfie video for Instagram. She's laughing. Singing along to the music. Not watching the road. Elena freezes in the crosswalk. Her eyes go wide. The Maserati is 50 feet away. Then 30. Then 10. Victoria looks up at the last second. She jerks the wheel hard to the left. The car misses Elena by inches. Literally inches. The side mirror brushes Elena's coat. Elena falls backward onto the pavement. Her purse flies. Her phone shatters on the concrete. Her knee twists. Pain shoots through her leg. The Maserati doesn't stop. It doesn't even slow down. It speeds away. The license plate reads Vunt 1. Vanity plate. Easy to remember. People rush to Elena. Are you okay? Did you get the plate? Someone calls 911. Someone else films on their phone. Elena sits on the cold ground. Her hands shake. Her knee throbs. Tears run down her face. Not from pain. From shock. From fear. From the realization that she almost died. The ambulance arrives. Elena refuses to go to the hospital. She can't afford it. Her health insurance has a $6,000 deductible. $6,000 she doesn't have. So she limps to her car. She texts her daughters. Sorry, can't make dinner. Something came up. She doesn't tell them what happened. She doesn't want them to worry. Elena files a police report. She gives them the license plate. Officer Michael Santos takes the report. He's been a Providence cop for 15 years. He knows that plate. Everyone knows that plate. It belongs to Victoria Huntington, daughter of Governor Robert Huntington, the governor who's been in office for 6 years, the governor who's running for Senate, the governor with connections to everyone who matters in Rhode Island. Officer Santos does his job anyway. He reviews traffic camera footage. There it is, clear as day. The Maserati, the near miss, the speed, everything. He writes a citation. Reckless driving, failure to yield to pedestrian, excessive speed. Fine total, $2,850. Court appearance mandatory. The citation gets delivered to Victoria's address. A waterfront penthouse in Providence. $15 million property. Ocean views from every window. She tosses the citation on her marble kitchen counter. She doesn't even read it. She's gotten tickets before. Her father's office handles them. They disappear. This will too. But this one doesn't disappear. Because Officer Santos made sure it went straight to Judge Frank Caprio's docket. Santos has seen too many rich people get away with too much. Not this time. 3 weeks pass. The court date arrives. Case number 2025, TR 94721. It's 9:15 a.m. on a Wednesday. The courtroom is packed. Word got out that the governor's daughter has a case. Local reporters sit in the back row. Cameras aren't allowed, but notebooks fill with observations. Judge Frank Caprio enters. Everyone stands. "Please be seated," he says. His voice is kind but firm. He's 78 years old. He's been a judge for 38 years. He's seen everything, literally everything, but he treats everyone the same. Rich or poor, famous or unknown, connected or alone. In his courtroom, there's only one thing that matters: the truth. The bailiff calls the case. Number 2025, TR 94721. State of Rhode Island versus Victoria Huntington. Charges of reckless driving, failure to yield to pedestrian, excessive speed in a residential zone. The courtroom door opens. Victoria walks in. Every head turns. She's wearing that Chanel blazer. Those Louboutin heels. Dark sunglasses cover her eyes. Inside, in a courtroom, she walks like she's on a runway. Slow, deliberate, confident. She doesn't look at anyone. She pulls out her phone, checks her reflection in the camera, fixes her hair. Behind her walks a man in an expensive suit. Her lawyer, Marcus Pemberton. He's 55 years old, partner at the state's biggest law firm. He's defended senators, CEOs, celebrities. He costs $850 an hour. He carries a leather briefcase that costs more than Elena's monthly rent. Judge Caprio looks up. "Miss Huntington, please approach the bench." Victoria doesn't move. She's typing on her phone. Her thumbs fly across the screen. Her lawyer touches her elbow. "Victoria," he whispers. "Put it away." She sighs. A long, dramatic sigh. She drops her phone in her purse. She walks forward. Her heels click. 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 The sound fills the silent courtroom. "Miss Huntington," Judge Caprio says, "do you understand why you're here today?" Victoria shrugs. Actually shrugs. "Something about a traffic thing? I don't really remember. It was weeks ago." People in the gallery shift in their seats. A woman in the third row whispers to her husband. A man shakes his head. Judge Caprio's expression doesn't change. "Let me refresh your memory. On February 14th at approximately 6:47 p.m., you were driving on Broadway Street. You were traveling at 68 miles per hour in a 25 zone. You nearly struck a pedestrian in a crosswalk. A pedestrian who had the right of way. Do you remember now?" Victoria tilts her head. I drive through there a lot. It's near my favorite restaurant. But specifically? No. Perhaps this will help." Judge Caprio nods to the clerk. A screen lights up on the courtroom wall. Traffic camera footage plays. There's the Maserati. There's Elena in the crosswalk. There's the near miss. There's the car speeding away. The courtroom watches in silence. You can hear people breathing. When it ends, Judge Caprio looks at Victoria. "Do you remember now?" Victoria glances at the screen. "Oh, that. Yeah, I guess. But like she's fine, right? Nothing happened." "Nothing happened." Judge Caprio repeats. I didn't hit her. So technically no harm, no foul." Victoria says it like a question. Like she's asking for confirmation. Judge Caprio's jaw tightens. Just slightly. "Miss Huntington, this is a court of law. Not a game. A woman was nearly killed because of your reckless behavior. Do you understand the severity of that?" Victoria's lawyer steps forward. "Your Honor, if I may, my client recognizes the seriousness of—" "I'm asking your client, Mr. Pemberton, not you." Judge Caprio's voice stays calm, but there's steel underneath. Victoria crosses her arms. "Look, I'm really busy. I have a charity luncheon at noon. Can we just settle this? What's the fine? I'll write a check right now." The courtroom erupts in whispers. Judge Caprio raises his hand. Silence falls instantly. "Miss Huntington, this isn't about a fine. This is about accountability. Officer Santos, please approach." Officer Santos stands from the gallery. He's in full uniform, badge polished. He walks to the witness stand. He's sworn in. Judge Caprio asks him to describe what he found in his investigation. Officer Santos opens his report. Your Honor, I reviewed all available footage. Miss Huntington was traveling at 68 in a 25. That's 43 miles over the limit. The pedestrian, Elena Rodriguez, was lawfully in the crosswalk. Miss Huntington didn't brake until after the near collision. She then fled the scene without stopping to check on the victim. Did you attempt to interview Miss Huntington after the incident? Judge Caprio asks. I did, Your Honor. I called the number registered to the vehicle. No answer. I left 3 voicemails. No response. I went to her residence. No one answered the door. I sent the citation by certified mail. And did Miss Huntington or her representative contact you at any point? No, Your Honor. Not until her lawyer called my supervisor 2 days ago. Judge Caprio turns to Victoria. Is this true? You never responded to Officer Santos. Victoria examines her nails. I get a lot of calls. I can't answer all of them. This was a police officer, regarding a serious traffic violation. Like I said, I'm busy. The lawyer jumps in. Your Honor, Miss Huntington is involved in numerous charitable organizations. She serves on 5 boards. She's in high demand. She simply didn't realize the urgency of... The urgency. Judge Caprio's voice rises slightly. A police officer investigating an incident where someone was nearly killed, and your client didn't think that was urgent. Victoria rolls her eyes. Actually rolls her eyes. This is so dramatic. The lady is fine. She's not here, is she? So clearly she's fine. Actually, Judge Caprio says she is here. He nods toward the gallery. Elena Rodriguez stands. She's in the 4th row. She's wearing her nurse's scrubs. Blue with little flowers. She came straight from her night shift. She hasn't slept. Dark circles ring her eyes. She limps as she walks to the front. Her left knee is wrapped in a brace. A big black brace that velcros up her leg. Victoria sees her. Really sees her for the first time. Her smirk fades. Just for a second. Then it's back. Judge Caprio's voice is gentle now. Mrs. Rodriguez, thank you for coming. Can you tell us what happened that night? Elena's voice shakes. I was crossing the street. The light said walk. I was almost across when I heard the car. I looked up and it was right there. Right there. I thought I was going to die. I really did. I jumped back and fell. My knee twisted. I broke my phone. I couldn't work for 4 days. I lost 4 days of pay. That's $960 I don't have. My daughters need that money for school. Have you seen a doctor for your knee? Elena looks down. No, Your Honor. I can't afford it. My deductible is too high. So I just wrap it and take Advil. But you're a nurse. You know you should have it looked at. I know, but I can't. I have to choose between my knee and my daughter's education. My daughters win every time. The courtroom is dead silent. Elena wipes her eyes. She's trying not to cry, trying to stay strong. Victoria's phone buzzes in her purse. She reaches for it. Miss Huntington. Judge Caprio's voice is sharp now. Put the phone away. It's my dad. I should. I said put it away. Victoria huffs. She drops her purse on the defense table. Fine. Whatever. Judge Caprio looks at Elena. Mrs. Rodriguez, has Miss Huntington or anyone representing her contacted you? To apologize? To check on you? Anything? No, Your Honor. Nothing. Judge Caprio turns back to Victoria. Miss Huntington, this woman was injured because of your actions. She lost income. She's in pain. And you couldn't be bothered to even ask if she was okay. Victoria shrugs again. I didn't know who she was. How was I supposed to contact her? Officer Santos had her information. You could have asked. Look, I'm sorry she got hurt or whatever. But I was late for dinner. I had a reservation. Do you know how hard it is to get a table at Gracie's on Valentine's Day? My boyfriend proposed that night. It was special. I couldn't miss it. The courtroom explodes. People gasp out loud. Someone says, "Are you kidding?" The bailiff steps forward. Order. Order in the court. Judge Caprio holds up his hand. Silence falls again, but you can feel the anger. It hangs in the air like smoke. Let me make sure I understand, Judge Caprio says slowly. You nearly killed this woman, but you couldn't stop because you had dinner plans. I didn't almost kill her. That's so over the top. I missed her. By a lot. By inches, according to witnesses. Inches, feet, whatever. A miss is a miss. Elena makes a sound. A small sound. Like she's been punched. She sits down in the front row. Her hands cover her face. Victoria sees this. And she laughs. Actually laughs. A short, sharp sound. Oh my God, are you serious right now? You're fine. You're literally fine. Stop being so dramatic. The entire courtroom erupts again. The bailiff moves toward Victoria. Her lawyer grabs her arm. Victoria, please be quiet. Let me handle this. But Victoria pulls her arm away. She faces the gallery. What? What did I say? She's sitting right there. She's fine. I don't understand why this is such a big deal. A man in the back stands up. Because you could have killed her. And you don't even care. Sir, please sit down, the bailiff says. How does she get to act like this? Because her daddy's the governor. Judge Caprio slams his gavel. Bang. The sound echoes. Everyone will remain quiet, or I will clear this courtroom. He looks at the man. Sir, I understand your frustration, but I need order. Please sit. The man sits, but his fists are clenched. His face is red. Judge Caprio turns back to Victoria. Miss Huntington, I'm going to ask you a direct question, and I want you to think very carefully before you answer. Do you believe you did anything wrong on February 14th? Victoria considers this. Actually considers it. I mean, maybe I was going a little fast. But that road is always empty. And it's really badly designed. The crosswalk should be somewhere else. So if anyone's to blame, it's whoever planned that intersection. Not me. Her lawyer drops his head into his hands. Judge Caprio leans forward. So you take no responsibility. For what? I told you I didn't hit her. You were driving 68 in a 25. You were on your phone. You nearly struck a pedestrian. You fled the scene. And you take no responsibility. Victoria's face hardens. Her voice changes. Gets colder. You want to know what I think? I think this is ridiculous. I think you're making a huge deal out of nothing. I think that woman probably saw who I was and decided to make it into something so she could get money. That's what people like her do. The courtroom explodes again. This time louder. Elena stands up. People like me? What does that mean? People who work for a living? People who can't buy their way out of trouble. Victoria spins around. People who see an opportunity and take it. You're probably going to sue me, right? That's what this is really about. I don't want your money. I want you to take responsibility. I want you to understand that you almost killed me. But I didn't. How many times do I have to say it? I didn't hit you. Judge Caprio slams his gavel again. Bang, bang, bang. Miss Huntington, Mrs. Rodriguez, both of you stop. Elena sits down. She's shaking. Tears stream down her face. Victoria crosses her arms. She's breathing hard. Her face is flushed. Judge Caprio takes a deep breath. Mr. Pemberton, do you have anything to add? The lawyer stands. Your Honor, I apologize for my client's outburst. This has been very stressful for her. Perhaps we could take a brief recess so I can speak with. No, Victoria interrupts. No recess. I'm done with this. She pulls out her phone. Miss Huntington, I told you to put that away. And I'm done listening to you. She starts dialing. You want to keep pushing this? Fine. Let's see how that works out for you. Excuse me. Victoria holds up her phone. It's ringing. Speaker on. The whole courtroom can hear it ring. Once. Twice. 3 times. Hello. A man's voice. Deep. Authoritative. Dad, it's me, Victoria says. I'm in court. This judge is being completely unreasonable. I need you to handle it. Judge Caprio stands. Miss Huntington, end that call immediately. Why? You wanted me to take this seriously? Fine. I'm taking it seriously. I'm calling someone who can actually fix this. Victoria, the voice on the phone says. What's going on? Some traffic thing. The judge is acting like I killed someone. I need you to call whoever you need to call. Get this dismissed. I have things to do today. The courtroom is frozen. Every single person stares at Victoria. At her phone. At Judge Caprio. Governor Robert Huntington's voice comes through the speaker. What judge? Caprio. Judge Frank Caprio. There's a pause. Victoria, I can't. Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. You're the governor. So govern. Fix this. Victoria, that's not how. Dad. Her voice rises. I don't have time for this. Just make it go away. You always make things go away. That's what you do. Another pause. Longer this time. Put the judge on. Victoria smirks. She walks toward the bench. She holds out her phone. He wants to talk to you. Judge Caprio doesn't move. Tell your father I will speak to him when appropriate. Not during a court session. Not at your demand. Now end that call, or you will be held in contempt. Victoria's smirk widens. Did you hear that, Dad? He's threatening me. Contempt. That's cute. Victoria, the governor's voice is strained now. Listen to the judge. Hang up. We'll talk later. No. You said you'd always protect me. So protect me. One phone call. That's all it takes. One call and this all goes away. Judge Caprio's face is stone. Miss Huntington, for the last time. And that call. Victoria looks right at him. Right in his eyes. Her voice drops. Gets quiet. Gets dangerous. One phone call. That's all it takes. One call and you're done. You think you're untouchable? You think your little judge position means something? My father owns this state. One call to the right person and you're sitting at home watching TV. So maybe you should think about that before you keep lecturing me. 10 seconds pass. No one moves. No one breathes. 10 seconds of absolute silence. Judge Caprio's face doesn't change. But something shifts in his eyes. Something cold and hard. Bailiff, he says quietly. Take Miss Huntington's phone. The bailiff moves forward. He's a big man. 6'3", 240 pounds. He's worked security for 20 years. He's removed drunk people, violent people, crazy people. But he's never seen anything like this. Victoria pulls her phone back. Don't you touch me. Ma'am, give me the phone. No. This is my property. You can't just take it. Miss Huntington, Judge Caprio says, you have used that phone to disrupt these proceedings. You have used it to threaten this court. Is now evidence. Hand it over or the bailiff will take it by force. Victoria looks at her lawyer. Do something. The lawyer stands. Your Honor, I must object to. Your objection is noted and overruled. Bailiff. The bailiff reaches for the phone. Victoria jerks away. She steps back. I said don't touch me. Do you know who I am? Yes, ma'am. You've made that very clear. Then you know you can't do this. Ma'am, I'm asking you nicely. Please hand over the phone. Victoria looks around the courtroom. At all the faces staring at her. At Elena in the front row. At the reporters in the back taking notes. At her lawyer who won't meet her eyes. At Judge Caprio on the bench. You're all going to regret this, she says. Every single one of you. She throws her phone on the floor. It hits the ground. The screen cracks. Pieces of glass scatter. There. Take it. Take whatever you want. None of this matters anyway. My dad will have this whole thing erased by tomorrow. You'll be lucky if you're still employed by the end of the week. The bailiff picks up the phone carefully. He hands it to the clerk. Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. He's quiet for a moment. Thinking. The entire courtroom waits. Finally he speaks. Miss Huntington, in my 38 years on this bench, I have seen many things. I have seen people who made mistakes. People who were sorry. People who learned lessons. I have also seen people who believed they were above the law. People who thought their money, their name, their connections made them special. Made them untouchable. He pauses. You are not special. You are not untouchable. And you are about to learn a very difficult lesson. Victoria laughs. Oh, here we go. The big speech. Let me guess, you're going to teach me about responsibility? About respecting the court? Save it. I've heard it all before. From teachers. From college deans. From cops. And guess what? I'm still here. Still fine. Because at the end of the day, people like you back down. You always do. Is that what you think? It's what I know. Then let me tell you what I know. Judge Caprio picks up a file. I know that this isn't your first offense. I have your driving record right here. In the past 3 years, you have received 14 traffic citations. 14 speeding, running red lights, reckless driving, illegal parking, and every single one was dismissed. Not because you were innocent, but because someone made a phone call. Someone pulled a string. Someone made it disappear. He sets down the file. I also know that you were expelled from 2 private schools. Once for bullying, once for cheating. But your father donated new libraries, buildings with your family name on them, and suddenly you were allowed back. I know that you wrecked 3 cars before you were 21. 3. And each time, your father bought you a new one. Better than the last. Victoria's face goes pale. How do you? Because I did my research. Because unlike everyone else you've encountered, I actually care about the truth. Not about who your father is. Not about how much money you have. The truth. You can't use that stuff. That's private. Your driving record is public. Your school expulsions are public. Your previous cases are public. Everything I just mentioned is public record. You just assumed no one would bother to look. Because no one ever has. Victoria's lawyer stands. Your Honor, I don't see how any of this is relevant to the current charge. It's relevant because it establishes a pattern. A pattern of reckless behavior with no consequences. A pattern that ends today. Judge Caprio looks at Victoria. You said your father always protects you. That with one phone call, he can make anything disappear. You might be right. He might call someone after this. He might try to get this overturned. But right now, in this moment, in this courtroom, I am the authority. Not him. Not his connections. Me. And I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you take any responsibility for what happened on February 14th? Victoria's hands are shaking now. Just slightly. She hides them behind her back. I already told you. I was going a little fast. That's it. The rest is her fault for being in the way. Her fault. Yes. Elena Rodriguez, a hospice nurse who was legally crossing the street, is at fault because you were driving 43 miles over the speed limit while on your phone. She should have moved faster. The courtroom erupts again, louder than before. People are shouting. The bailiff moves to the center of the room. Order. I need order. Judge Caprio slams his gavel over and over. Bang. 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 Quiet. All of you. Right now. It takes a full minute for everyone to calm down. When they do, the room feels electric. Dangerous. Judge Caprio's voice is ice cold now. Miss Huntington, do you understand what you just said? I said what I said. You blamed a pedestrian who was lawfully in a crosswalk for not moving fast enough to avoid your speeding car. If she moved faster, none of this would have happened. She's 52 years old with a knee injury. Not my problem. Is your problem. You caused that injury. Allegedly. Judge Caprio stands. He's shaking. Not from fear. From anger. Controlled anger. Officer Santos, do you have the body camera footage from your interview with witnesses? Yes, Your Honor. Play it. The screen lights up again. This time it shows Officer Santos talking to people on Broadway Street. An elderly man. A young couple. A teenager. One by one they describe what they saw. The speeding car. The near miss. How close it was. How the woman fell. How the car never stopped. The teenager says something that makes everyone in the courtroom go silent. I thought I was about to watch someone die. I really did. That car missed her by like this much. He holds his fingers an inch apart. 1 inch. Maybe less. If that lady had been one step further, she'd be dead right now. The video ends. The screen goes dark. Judge Caprio looks at Victoria. 1 inch. You missed her by 1 inch. And you think she should have moved faster. Victoria's mouth opens. Closes. Opens again. Nothing comes out. Let me tell you about Elena Rodriguez, Judge Caprio says. She works 60 hours a week taking care of dying patients. She holds their hands when they're scared. She talks to them when they're alone. She makes their last days bearable. She does this for $28 an hour. That's $1,120 a week before taxes. About $58,000 a year. She has 2 daughters in college. Tuition, room, board, books, fees. That costs about $80,000 a year. Do the math. She makes $58,000 and needs $80,000. So how does she do it? He doesn't wait for an answer. She works overtime. She works holidays. She works double shifts. She eats ramen noodles. She drives a 17-year-old car. She hasn't bought herself new clothes in 4 years. Everything goes to her daughters. Everything. Because she wants them to have opportunities she never had. She wants them to have better lives. Judge Caprio picks up another file. Now, let me tell you about you. You're 26 years old. You've never had a job. Not one. You live in a $15 million penthouse that your father bought you for your 25th birthday. You drive a $180,000 car. You spend approximately $75,000 a year on clothes. That's more than Elena makes in a full year. You spend it on clothes. Your credit card bills show purchases at Chanel, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada. Last month alone, you spent $12,000 on shoes. $12,000. On shoes. Victoria's face is bright red now. You can't talk about my finances. You made them relevant when you implied Elena was after your money. When you said people like her look for opportunities. So let's talk about money. Let's talk about who has it and who doesn't. Let's talk about who earned it and who was handed it. Let's talk about what it actually means. Judge Caprio walks to the front of the bench. He's standing now, looking right at Victoria. Money is not inherently bad. Having money doesn't make you a bad person. But believing your money makes you better than others? Believing it places you above the law? Believing you can buy your way out of any situation? That makes you dangerous. And it makes you exactly the kind of person who should never be allowed behind the wheel of a car. You can't take my license. My lawyer said you can't. The lawyer winces. Your lawyer was wrong. Watch me. Judge Caprio sits back down. He puts on his reading glasses. He picks up a pen. Victoria Huntington, I find you guilty of all charges. Reckless driving. Failure to yield to a pedestrian. Excessive speed. Additionally, I find you in contempt of court for your behavior here today. The threatening phone call. The destruction of property. The disrespect shown to this court and to the victim. Victoria's voice cracks. Wait, you can't just. I can and I am. Here is your sentence. First, fines. $2,850 for the original violations. $5,000 for contempt of court. $10,000 additional penalty for your pattern of reckless behavior. Total fines, $17,850. Due in 30 days. Victoria barely reacts to the money. It's nothing to her. Second, license suspension. Your driver's license is suspended for 1 full year. 365 days. You will surrender it to the clerk immediately. You will not drive during this time. If you are caught driving, you will face criminal charges. Now Victoria reacts. A year? You can't do that. How am I supposed to get anywhere? The same way Elena Rodriguez does when her car breaks down. You take the bus. You walk. You ask for rides. You figure it out. This is insane. Third, community service. 200 hours. To be completed at Rhode Island Hospital, in the Hospice unit, under the direct supervision of Elena Rodriguez. The courtroom erupts, this time in shock. Even Elena looks surprised. Victoria stares at Judge Caprio. You're kidding. I am not kidding. You will report to Rhode Island Hospital every Saturday and Sunday for the next 6 months. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 10 hours each day. That's 20 hours per week. You will do whatever Elena asks you to do. You will help care for dying patients. You will clean rooms. You will change sheets. You will empty bedpans. You will hold hands. You will listen to stories. You will see what it means to serve others. To care for people who can't pay you back. Who can't make you famous. Who can't do anything for you except maybe say thank you. Victoria's voice is a whisper now. You can't make me do that. I absolutely can. And I am. You will wear scrubs just like every other aide. Your name tag will say, Community Service, under your name. Everyone will know why you're there. You will not use your phone while working. You will not complain. You will not leave early. Any violation and you will spend 30 days in jail. Jail? For a traffic ticket? No, for contempt of court, which is what you're currently being charged with. Separate from the traffic violations. I could send you to jail right now. For 90 days. That's the maximum sentence. But I'm giving you a chance. One chance. To prove you can be something other than what you've shown me today. Judge Caprio isn't done. Fourth, you will write a letter of apology to Elena Rodriguez. Handwritten. Not typed. Not written by your lawyer. By you. At least 500 words. Explaining exactly what you did wrong, why it was wrong, and what you learned. You will read this letter out loud in this courtroom during your review hearing in 6 months. If I don't believe it's sincere, your community service hours double. 500 words. What am I in middle school? You're acting like you are. So yes, this is humiliating. It's supposed to be. That's the point. Judge Caprio leans forward. Sixth, you will meet with 3 families. Families who have lost loved ones to reckless drivers. You will sit in their homes. You will look at pictures of the people who died. You will hear stories about who they were, what they meant to their families, what was lost. These meetings will be arranged by the prosecutor's office. You will attend all 3. You will stay for at least 2 hours each time, and you will write a 1-page reflection after each meeting. Victoria's breathing fast now. Why are you doing this to me? Because maybe, just maybe, if you see the real consequences of reckless driving, you'll think twice before you do it again. Maybe you'll realize that other people's lives matter as much as yours. That their time, their safety, their families are just as important as your dinner reservations. I already said I'm sorry. No, you didn't. Not once. Not sincerely. You said, sorry she got hurt or whatever. That's not an apology. That's a dismissal. Judge Caprio picks up another paper. 7th, and finally, you will have no contact with your father or his office regarding this case. No phone calls asking him to intervene. No having his staff call people. No using his influence in any way. I am issuing a restraining order against any interference. If I receive any contact from anyone connected to your father attempting to change this sentence, I will add 30 days in jail for each contact. And I will make sure the media knows about it. Victoria's eyes go wide. You can't do that. I just did. The order is signed and filed. It's public record. If your father tries to interfere, everyone will know. Is that what he wants? A scandal right before his Senate campaign? I doubt it. For the first time, Victoria looks genuinely scared. Her hands shake. Her voice cracks. This isn't fair. Fair. Judge Caprio's voice rises. You want to talk about fair? Is it fair that Elena can't afford to see a doctor for an injury you caused? Is it fair that she lost 4 days of pay? Is it fair that she works 60 hours a week and still can't make ends meet while you spend more on shoes in a month than she makes in a year? Is it fair that you've gotten away with 14 previous violations because of who your father is? Tell me, Victoria, what exactly about any of this is fair? Victoria has no answer. That's what I thought. Judge Caprio picks up his gavel. You have 48 hours to surrender your license. You will report to Rhode Island Hospital this Saturday at 8 a.m. The clerk will provide you with all the details. Your review hearing is scheduled for August 13th at 9 a.m. Same courtroom. At that hearing, you will read your apology letter. You will present proof of completed community service hours. You will show your reflection papers from family meetings. If everything is in order, and if I believe you've learned something, I will consider reducing your license suspension. If not, it extends to 2 years. Do you understand? Victoria nods. Barely. I need you to say it. Yes. Her voice is small. Broken. Yes, what? Yes, Your Honor. One more thing. Judge Caprio looks directly at her. You said I'd be lucky to still be employed by the end of the week. You said your father owns this state. You said one phone call could end me. Let me tell you something, Victoria. I've been a judge for 38 years. I've seen governors come and go. I've seen powerful people rise and fall. I've seen corruption. I've seen influence. I've seen it all. And I'm still here. Do you know why? Victoria doesn't answer. Because I don't make decisions based on who might call me. I don't worry about whose daughter is standing in front of me. I don't care about who plays golf with whom. I care about one thing. The law. Equal justice under the law. That's it. That's all. Your father might be the governor. But in this courtroom, he's just another citizen. And you're just another defendant who broke the law. That's all you are. That's all you'll ever be in here. He lifts his gavel. This hearing is concluded. Bailiff, please escort Miss Huntington to the clerk's office. She needs to surrender her license. The gavel falls. Bang. The sound echoes through the courtroom. For a moment, no one moves. Then, slowly, people start to stand. They don't file out. They stay. Watching Victoria. She stands frozen. Her face is white. Tears stream down her cheeks. Black mascara runs. Her perfect makeup is ruined. Her hands shake. She looks at her lawyer. He shakes his head. There's nothing I can do. You need to comply with the order. But, Victoria, listen to me. You need to do exactly what the judge said. Exactly. No deviations. No shortcuts. No phone calls. If you do anything else, this gets worse. Much worse. Do you understand? Victoria nods. She's crying openly now. The smirk is gone. The confidence is gone. She looks young suddenly, like a child who just got caught doing something terrible. The bailiff touches her elbow gently. Ma'am, we need to go to the clerk's office. Victoria lets him guide her. As she walks past Elena, she stops. She looks at her. Their eyes meet. Elena's face is hard. No sympathy there. I'm sorry, Victoria whispers. I'm really sorry. Elena doesn't respond. She just watches Victoria walk away. The courtroom slowly empties. People file out. Whispers fill the hallway. Did you see that? I can't believe it. About time someone stood up to them. He's my hero. Elena stays seated. Judge Caprio comes down from the bench. He sits next to her. Are you okay? He asks. Elena wipes her eyes. I don't know. I'm still shaking. I've never seen anything like that. Neither have I. And I've seen a lot. Do you really think she'll change? Or is this just going to make her angrier? Judge Caprio sighs. I don't know. Honestly. Some people change. Some don't. But I had to try. Because if I just gave her a fine, nothing would be different. She'd pay it and forget about it. This way, at least there's a chance. Thank you, Elena says. For listening. For caring. For taking this seriously. You don't need to thank me. I was just doing my job. No. You went beyond. Way beyond. You could have just issued the ticket fine and moved on. You didn't have to do all that. Judge Caprio smiles sadly. Yes, I did. Because if I don't stand up for people like you, who will? 8 weeks pass. It's now a Saturday morning. May 11th, 8:15 a.m. Rhode Island Hospital. The hospice unit is on the 4th floor. It's quiet here. Peaceful. Soft music plays. The lights are dim. Everything is designed for comfort. For dignity in the final days. Victoria Huntington walks through the main entrance. She's 15 minutes late. She's wearing scrubs. Light blue. They're wrinkled. Her hair is in a messy ponytail. No makeup. No jewelry. She carries a backpack. Regular backpack. From Target. Not designer. She looks exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes. Her hands are dry. Cracked. She's been cleaning. Scrubbing. Working. Elena stands at the nurse's station. She sees Victoria approach. You're late. I know. I'm sorry. The bus was delayed. The bus. Yeah. I don't have a car, remember? Elena studies her. Victoria looks different. Not just the lack of makeup. Something in her eyes. Something softer. Room for 12 needs fresh linens, Elena says. Mr. Patterson. He's 89. Lung cancer. He doesn't have much time left. His family is coming at 10. I want everything perfect. Okay. Linens are in the closet. You know the drill. Victoria nods. She heads down the hallway. Elena watches her go. This has been the routine for 8 weeks. Every Saturday and Sunday, Victoria shows up. Sometimes early. Sometimes late. She does what she's asked. She doesn't complain. Not anymore. The first week, she complained about everything. The smell. The hours. The work. Elena documented all. Ready to report to the judge. But then something shifted. Week 2. Victoria was helping change a patient's sheets. An old woman. 76 years old. Mrs. Chun. She had no family. No visitors. She was dying alone. Mrs. Chun grabbed Victoria's hand. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for being here. Victoria froze. No one had thanked her for doing manual labor. For serving. For helping. People thanked her when she showed up to charity galas. When she smiled for cameras. When she wrote checks. But never for actually working. She sat with Mrs. Chun for 2 hours that day. Held her hand. Listened to her stories. Stories about growing up in China. About coming to America. About the restaurant she ran for 40 years. About her husband who died 10 years ago. About how lonely she'd been since. Mrs. Chun died 3 days later. Victoria wasn't there. She was told about it on Saturday. She cried. Actually cried. Not for show. For real. Since then, she's been different. Quieter. More focused. She asks questions. How do I make them more comfortable? What do they need? What can I do? Now in week 8, she's changed. The other nurses notice. They whisper about it. She's not what I expected, one says. Yeah, she actually cares, another responds. Victoria finishes changing the linens in room 412. Mr. Patterson smiles at her. You're getting good at this. Thanks. I've had practice. Elena tells me you're here for community service. Must have been some ticket. Victoria's face flushes. Yeah, I messed up. Pretty badly. Well, you're doing good work now. That's what matters. Victoria sits in the chair next to his bed. Can I ask you something? Sure. Does it scare you? Knowing you're dying. Mr. Patterson thinks about this. Sometimes. But mostly I'm just grateful. Grateful. I got 89 years. That's more than a lot of people get. I had a good life. Good wife. Good kids. Good career. I got to see my grandkids grow up. Not everyone gets that. But don't you wish you had more time? Sure. I'd love more time. But I also know I've been lucky. Really lucky. And now it's time to let go. Make room for others. That's how it works. Victoria is quiet for a long moment. I almost killed someone. Back in February. I was driving too fast. I wasn't paying attention. I almost hit a woman in a crosswalk. If she'd been one step further, she'd be dead. Mr. Patterson nods. Elena told me. That's why you're here. Yeah. And at first I was so angry. I thought the judge was being cruel. Unfair. But now. She trails off. Now I understand. He was trying to show me something. That other people's lives matter. That my actions have consequences. That I needed to see what I almost took away. And do you see it? Victoria nods. Tears fill her eyes. Every day. Every patient. Every family. I see what could have been taken from Elena's daughters. What could have been lost. And it makes me sick. I was so selfish. So entitled. So blind. Mr. Patterson reaches for her hand. His grip is weak. But you're not blind anymore. You see now. That's what matters. I don't know if I can ever make it right. You can't. Not completely. But you can be better going forward. You can learn from it. You can help others. That's all anyone can do. At 10 a.m., Mr. Patterson's family arrives. 3 adult children. 7 grandchildren. 2 great-grandchildren. They fill the room. There's laughter. There are tears. There are stories. They include Victoria in the conversation. You're Victoria. Dad's told us about you. Thank you for taking care of him. Victoria watches the family. The love. The connection. The way they hold each other. The way they treasure every moment. At noon, Elena pulls Victoria aside. We need to talk. Victoria's heart sinks. Did I do something wrong? No. The opposite. You completed 160 hours. You only need 200. You have 5 weeks left. Okay. But I wanted to tell you something. You're doing well. Better than I expected. You've been respectful. Hard-working. You care about the patients. I see that. Victoria blinks back tears. Thank you. That means a lot. I'm still angry at you. For what you did. For how you acted. But I also see you're trying to change. So I want to help you. If you have questions, ask me. If you need guidance, I'll give it. Okay. Victoria nods. Okay. And Elena, I really am sorry. I know I said it in court, but I didn't mean it then. Not really. I'm sorry now. Truly sorry. For everything. Elena's face softens. Just a little. I know. I can see it. 6 months after the original hearing. August 13th, 9 a.m. Providence Municipal Court. The same courtroom. The same judge. The bailiff calls the case. Number 2025, TR 94721. Review hearing. State of Rhode Island versus Victoria Huntington. The courtroom is packed again. Not with reporters this time. With regular people. People who heard about the case. People who want to see what happened. Victoria walks in. She looks completely different. She's wearing simple black pants. A white blouse. Flats. Her hair is natural. No designer clothes. No jewelry. She carries a folder. Elena is there. In the front row. So is Officer Santos. So is Mr. Pemberton, her lawyer. But sitting next to Victoria is someone new. A young man. 28 years old. Simple clothes. Kind face. He holds Victoria's hand. Judge Caprio enters. Everyone stands. He looks at Victoria. Miss Huntington, thank you for being on time. Yes, Your Honor. I've received reports from Rhode Island Hospital. From Elena Rodriguez. From the prosecutor's office regarding your family meetings. All reports indicate you've completed your required hours. You've attended all 3 family meetings. And you've submitted your reflection papers. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. And you've prepared your apology letter? I have. Please read it. Victoria opens the folder. Her hands shake. She takes a deep breath. Dear Elena Rodriguez, she begins. 6 months ago, I stood in this courtroom and said terrible things. I blamed you for my mistakes. I dismissed your pain. I showed no respect for your life or your struggle. I was wrong, completely wrong, and I'm sorry. Her voice cracks. She pauses, breathes, continues. I was raised with every advantage. Money, education, opportunity. But I never learned the most important lesson. That privilege is not a right. It's a responsibility. And I failed that responsibility in every way possible. I drove recklessly because I didn't think rules applied to me. I ignored your pain because I didn't see you as a real person. I threatened the court because I thought power meant I could do whatever I wanted. Working in the hospice unit changed me. I met people at the end of their lives, people who had so little time left, and I saw what really matters. Not money, not status, not connections, but love, family, service, kindness, the things I had ignored my whole life. I met a woman named Mrs. Chun. She died alone. No family, no visitors, just nurses and me. I held her hand in her final hours. She thanked me for being there, for caring, and I realized that's all any of us really want. To know we matter, to know someone cares, to know we're not alone. I almost took that from you. I almost killed you, and your daughters would have lost their mother. Your patients would have lost their nurse. The world would have lost someone who actually makes a difference. And for what? Because I wanted to get to dinner on time? Because I thought my time was more valuable than your life. Victoria looks up from the paper, looks right at Elena. I can never undo what I did. I can never erase those terrifying seconds when you thought you were going to die. But I can promise you this. I will never drive recklessly again. I will never treat another person as less important than me. I will spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of the second chance you and Judge Caprio gave me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She folds the paper, wipes her eyes, sits down. The courtroom is silent. Judge Caprio looks at Elena. Mrs. Rodriguez, do you have anything you'd like to say? Elena stands. She walks to the front. She faces Victoria. 6 months ago, I wanted you punished. I wanted you to suffer like I suffered. I wanted you to feel the fear I felt, the pain, the helplessness. I was angry, so angry I couldn't sleep. But then I watched you work. At the hospital, I watched you clean rooms, change sheets, hold hands. I watched you cry when patients died. I watched you care, really care, and my anger started to fade. A month ago, you sat with my daughter Maria. She came to visit me at work. You talked to her about college, about her dreams, about working hard. She told me later that you inspired her, that seeing someone with your background doing this work made her believe she could do anything. Do you know what that meant to me? Victoria shakes her head. It meant everything. Because my girls, they're my whole world. And seeing you treat them with respect, with kindness, it showed me you really have changed. Elena takes a deep breath. I forgive you, Victoria. I do. Not because you deserve it, but because holding on to anger was hurting me more than it was hurting you. So I'm letting it go. I'm moving on. And I hope you continue to move forward, too. Victoria stands. Without thinking, she hugs Elena. Elena stiffens, then relaxes, then hugs back. The courtroom erupts in applause. Judge Caprio doesn't stop it. He lets it happen. When it quiets down, he speaks. Victoria Huntington, I have reviewed all the documentation. Your community service is complete. Your reflection papers show genuine understanding. Your apology today was sincere. And the fact that Elena Rodriguez has forgiven you speaks volumes. Therefore, I am modifying your sentence. Your license suspension is reduced to 9 months total. You may apply for reinstatement immediately. Your fines stand as ordered. Your community service is complete. You are released from probation. Victoria exhales. Relief floods her face. However, Judge Caprio continues. I want to be clear. This is not me saying everything is fine. This is not me erasing what happened. You still nearly killed someone. That doesn't go away. What this is me acknowledging growth, change, the possibility of redemption. He looks right at her. You came into my courtroom 6 months ago as one person. Entitled, arrogant, dangerous. You leave today as someone different. Someone who understands consequence, who values human life, who knows the difference between privilege and responsibility. Don't lose that. Don't go back to who you were. Stay who you are now. Or better yet, keep growing. Keep learning. Keep serving. Yes, Your Honor. I will. I promise. There's one more thing. Judge Caprio nods to the clerk. Miss Huntington, you completed your 200 hours of community service. But I've been told you've continued to volunteer at the hospital, even after your hours were done. Is that true? Victoria nods. Yes. I go every Saturday. I couldn't just stop. The patients, they need help. And I like being there. How many additional hours have you completed? About 80. So 280 total. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Caprio smiles. That's what I wanted to hear. Because that tells me this wasn't just about avoiding jail. This was about genuinely changing. About finding purpose in service. That's rare. Hold on to it. I will. This case is closed. Good luck, Miss Huntington. The gavel falls one last time. Bang. The courtroom empties slowly. People approach Victoria. Shake her hand. Tell her they're proud of her. She thanks them. Over and over. Elena and Victoria stand together outside the courtroom. What will you do now? Elena asks. I'm enrolling in school. Nursing school. Community college. I want to do what you do. Help people. Make a difference. Elena's eyes widen. Really? Really? I've spent my whole life being useless. Now, I want to be useful. You showed me how. I want to learn. It's hard work. Long hours. Not much money. I know, but it matters. That's what I learned. Doing something that matters is worth more than anything money can buy. The young man who came with Victoria approaches. Ready to go. Victoria nods. She turns to Elena. This is David, my fiancé. I called off my engagement to my ex-boyfriend, the one who proposed at that dinner. He didn't understand why I was changing, didn't support it, so I ended it. David, I met him at the hospital. He's a social worker. David shakes Elena's hand. I've heard so much about you. Thank you for what you did for Victoria. I didn't do anything special. Yes, you did. You gave her a chance. You could have made those 6 months miserable. But you didn't. You taught her. Guided her. That takes kindness. Elena smiles. Well, she earned it. She worked hard. They say goodbye. Elena watches Victoria and David walk away. Hand in hand. Two regular people. Nothing fancy about them. In the months and years that follow, Victoria's story spreads. The video of the original hearing goes viral. Millions of views. National news picks it up. Governor's daughter gets reality check from judge, the headlines read. Some people defend Victoria. He went too hard on her. She's young. Everyone makes mistakes. But most people support Judge Caprio. Finally, someone held a rich person accountable. This is what justice looks like. Every entitled person should get this treatment. The case becomes a teaching example. Law schools study it. Driver's education courses show the video. Parents show it to their teenage children. This is what happens when you think you're above consequences. Judge Caprio receives thousands of letters. People thanking him. Sharing their own stories of being victimized by reckless drivers. Sharing their frustrations with a justice system that often favors the wealthy. He keeps one letter framed in his office. It's from Victoria. Sent 2 years after the hearing. Dear Judge Caprio, I'm writing to update you on my life. I'm in my 2nd year of nursing school. I'm getting straight A's. I still volunteer at the hospice unit every week. Elena and I have become friends. Real friends. She's teaching me so much. Not just about nursing. About life. About what it means to truly serve others. I got married last year. David and I had a small wedding. 20 people. Nothing fancy. We're happy. Really happy. I sold the penthouse. Donated half the money to Rhode Island Hospital. Used the rest to pay for school and help David's nonprofit. I drive a used Toyota Corolla now. It's 10 years old. I love it. My father and I don't speak much anymore. He never forgave you for that hearing. He thinks you've humiliated our family. But I thank you. Every day. You saved my life. Not from jail. From myself. From a life of meaningless privilege and wasted opportunity. You showed me there's more to life than money and status. There's purpose. There's service. There's meaning. Thank you for seeing potential in me when I couldn't see it in myself. Thank you for being tough when I needed toughness. Thank you for not giving up on me. I hope I'm making you proud. Sincerely, Victoria. Judge Caprio reads that letter whenever he has a difficult case, whenever he wonders if he's making a difference. It reminds him why he does this job. Elena continues working at Rhode Island Hospital. Her daughters graduate college. One becomes a doctor. One becomes a lawyer. Both credit their mother's sacrifice and work ethic. They also credit Victoria's transformation. Seeing someone change like that showed us people can grow, can be better. It gave us hope. The intersection where the near miss happened gets redesigned. Better lighting, clearer crosswalk markings, a longer pedestrian signal. Traffic violations in that zone drop by 67% in the 2 years following Victoria's case. The state legislature passes a new law. Victoria's Law, they call it. It mandates community service in relevant settings for all serious traffic violations involving pedestrians. Speeding near schools? You work as a crossing guard. Hit and run? You work at a trauma center. The idea is simple. See the consequences of your actions up close. Governor Huntington loses his Senate race. The scandal from his daughter's case follows him. Voters question his values, his parenting, his use of influence. He serves out his term as governor, then disappears from public life. But Victoria thrives. She graduates nursing school, gets hired at Rhode Island Hospital, works in the same hospice unit where she did community service. The patients love her. The staff respects her. She's known for her compassion, her patience, her willingness to do the hard work no one else wants to do. On the 5th anniversary of the hearing, a local newspaper runs a feature. Where are they now? The governor's daughter case. They interview everyone involved. Officer Santos, I'm glad I didn't let that case disappear. Justice needs to apply equally. That's not always popular, but it's right. Elena Rodriguez, that day changed both our lives. Victoria lost her sense of privilege. I gained hope that people can change. I think we both came out better. Marcus Pemberton, the lawyer, I've been practicing law for 30 years. That was the most educational case I ever had. Not for the law, but for understanding what justice actually means. Victoria, I was a terrible person. Selfish, cruel, blind to others' struggles. That hearing, that sentence, it forced me to see. To really see. I'm grateful every day for Judge Caprio's courage. He didn't take the easy path. He took the right path. That made all the difference. And Judge Frank Caprio, people ask me if I was too harsh on Victoria. My answer is always the same. I gave her exactly what she needed. Not what she wanted. What she needed. And she rose to the challenge. That's all any of us can hope for. That when given a chance, people will choose to be better. Victoria chose to be better. That's not on me. That's on her. I just created the opportunity. The article goes viral. More than the original hearing video. Because it shows something rare. It shows that justice can be transformative, not just punitive. That consequences can lead to growth. That people can change. But the most powerful moment comes at the end of the article. A photo. Victoria and Elena, standing together in the hospice unit, wearing matching scrubs. Both smiling, arms around each other's shoulders. The caption reads, "From victim and offender to co-workers and friends. Proof that justice, when done right, can heal everyone involved." This story teaches us many things. It teaches us that privilege doesn't make us special. It makes us responsible. Responsible to use what we have to help others, not to elevate ourselves above them. It teaches us that consequences matter. That letting people avoid accountability because of who they are or who they know doesn't help anyone. Not the victim, not the offender, not society. It teaches us that change is possible. Even for people who seem hopeless. Even for people who've spent their whole lives being entitled and cruel. Given the right circumstances, the right guidance, and the right motivation, anyone can grow. It teaches us that real wealth isn't measured in money. It's measured in relationships, in purpose, in service. Victoria had millions of dollars, but she was poor in every way that mattered, until she learned to give instead of take. It teaches us that justice isn't just about punishment. It's about restoration, about making things as right as they can be, about creating opportunities for growth and healing. And it teaches us that sometimes the kindest thing we can do is refuse to let someone off easy, to hold them accountable, to demand better, because that's what real love looks like. Not indulgence, but challenge. The challenge to be worthy of the life we've been given. Money can buy many things. Expensive cars, designer clothes, luxury homes, but it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. It cannot create character. It cannot make someone a good person. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice.